Sometimes you do not go silent because you stopped caring. You go silent because something inside you got tired of explaining what your body already understood. At first, you try to stay normal. You reply to the messages. You laugh at the jokes. You tell yourself, maybe I am thinking too much. But deep down, something feels different. Their words sound the same, but the feeling behind the words has changed. Their smile is still there, but it does not feel warm anymore. Their attention is still present, but it feels forced. And because you are intuitive, you notice it before anyone says it out loud. This is where the silence begins, not in one big moment, not in one fight, not in one clear betrayal. It begins in small moments that other people may not even notice. A late reply that feels different, a tone that becomes colder, a joke that has a hidden sharp edge, a promise that is broken, then explained away, a conversation that leaves you feeling smaller than before. You may not have proof, but your body starts collecting clues. And this is why highly intuitive people often go quiet before they walk away. They are not trying to punish anyone. They are trying to understand what they are feeling. They are trying to find out if the danger is real, or if it is just an old fear waking up again. But to other people, it can look sudden. One day you are there. The next day you are distant. Then you stop replying. Then you disappear. And people say, you changed. But they do not see how many times you tried to stay. They do not see how many times you ignored your own discomfort just to give them another chance. They do not see how many times you felt something was wrong, but stayed quiet because you did not want to sound dramatic. This is one of the hardest parts of being intuitive. You feel things early, but feeling something early does not always mean you can explain it clearly. Your mind may still be searching for words while your nervous system is already stepping back. The brain is always trying to predict what will happen next. It uses past memories, body signals, facial expressions, tone of voice, and patterns. This happens fast. Before you can think, your brain is already asking, have I seen this before? If the answer feels like yes, your body reacts. Your chest becomes tight. Your stomach feels heavy. Your mind becomes alert. You start watching the person more closely. You start choosing your words carefully. You stop sharing as much. And slowly, silence becomes your protection. This does not mean you are broken. It means your brain learned to protect you through pattern recognition. Maybe in the past, you had to read people's moods to stay safe. Maybe you were around people who said one thing but meant another. Maybe you were ignored when you spoke up. Maybe you learned that explaining your feelings only made things worse. So now, your brain does something smart. It listens for changes. It watches energy. It notices tone. It feels distance before distance is admitted. This is not weakness. It is an old survival skill. But survival skills can become heavy when they are used in every relationship. Think of your intuition like a smoke alarm. A smoke alarm does not wait for the whole house to burn. It reacts early. That is its job. But sometimes it reacts to real smoke, and sometimes it reacts to burnt toast. Your intuition works in a similar way. Sometimes it warns you because something is truly wrong. Sometimes it warns you because an old memory has been touched. The hard part is knowing the difference. This is why silence can feel confusing. Part of you wants to leave. Part of you wants to understand. Part of you feels hurt. Part of you wonders if you are being unfair. So you pull back. You stop giving full access to yourself. You become quiet. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you are listening inside. You are trying to hear the difference between fear and truth. And this is where many people misunderstand intuitive silence. Silence is not always anger. Sometimes silence is the brain reducing noise. When you stop talking, you get less information to process. You stop explaining. You stop defending. You stop trying to make someone understand what they keep choosing not to see. Your nervous system finally gets space. And in that space, the truth becomes clearer. But there is one danger. If you cut everyone off the moment you feel unsafe, you may protect yourself from pain. But you may also protect yourself from clarity. Not every strange feeling is a warning. Sometimes it is tiredness. Sometimes it is stress. Sometimes it is your past trying to speak through the present. So the first thing you can do is slow down and name what you noticed. Not what you fear, not what you imagine, just what you noticed. You might say to yourself, their tone changed. Or, they only reach out when they need something. Or, I feel drained after every conversation. This matters because naming a feeling helps the thinking part of your brain come back online. When the brain feels danger, it can move into alarm mode. In alarm mode, everything feels urgent. But when you name the signal, you create space. You are no longer inside the storm. You are watching the storm. That small space can change everything. The second thing is to separate the event from the story. The event is what happened. The story is what your brain says it means. For example, someone replies late. That is the event. Your brain says they do not care about me. That is the story. Maybe it is true. Maybe it is not. But your brain creates stories because uncertainty feels unsafe. The mind would rather have a painful answer than no answer at all. This is why intuitive people sometimes feel sure before they have facts. The body feels something, then the mind rushes to explain it. But the first explanation is not always the right one. So before you disappear, ask yourself, what else could this mean? This is not about ignoring your intuition. It is about respecting it enough to check it carefully. The third thing is to look for patterns, not single moments. One cold reply does not always mean someone is unsafe. One bad day does not always mean a person is using you. But repeated behavior matters. If someone keeps crossing your boundaries, that is a pattern. If someone keeps making you feel guilty for having needs, that is a pattern. If someone is kind only when they want something, that is a pattern. Your brain is built to notice patterns because patterns help you survive. But stress can make the brain see patterns too quickly. So ask yourself, has this happened many times, or am I reacting to one moment? That question can protect you from leaving too fast. And it can also help you leave when the truth is clear. The fourth thing is to use one honest sentence before the final silence, but only when it is safe. You do not need to give a long speech. You do not need to prove your pain. You can simply say, something feels different, and I do not want to pretend I have not noticed. That sentence gives the other person a chance to show you who they are. A healthy person may not understand right away, but they will try to listen. An unsafe person will often attack, mock, blame, or twist your words. Their response gives you new information, and sometimes that information is the answer you needed. The fifth thing is to leave with peace, not panic. When a relationship is clearly harming you, distance can be healthy. But how you leave matters. If you leave in panic, your brain stores the memory as danger. If you leave with calm, your brain learns that you can protect yourself without becoming hard. This means you stop checking their reaction. You stop rereading old messages. You stop building a courtroom in your head where you keep proving why you had to leave. You choose one clear boundary. Then you return to your own life. This is not cold. This is self-respect. There is a quiet difference between cutting someone off to punish them and stepping away to protect your peace. Punishment is focused on their reaction. Peace is focused on your recovery. And highly intuitive people often need to learn this difference. Because when you feel deeply, you can stay too long. You can keep explaining. You can keep hoping they will finally understand. You can keep shrinking your needs so the connection does not break. But a connection that only survives when you abandon yourself is not a safe connection. Your silence is often the moment your self-respect tries to return. It is the part of you that says, I cannot keep betraying myself just to keep this bond alive. That does not mean every person deserves to be cut off. It means every relationship deserves to be seen clearly. Some people need a conversation. Some people need a boundary. Some people need distance. And some people need to lose access to you completely. The skill is knowing which is which. Your intuition is not the enemy. Your fear is not the enemy. Your silence is not the enemy. They are signals. But signals need wisdom. They need patience. They need checking. They need a calm mind, not just a hurt heart. Because the goal is not to become someone who trusts nobody. The goal is to become someone who can trust yourself without letting fear drive the car. You can listen to your body. You can check the facts. You can speak once with honesty. You can watch the pattern, and when the truth is clear, you can walk away without guilt. No loud announcement. No revenge. No long explanation to people committed to misunderstanding you. Just a quiet return to yourself. Maybe this is why intuitive people go silent. Not because they are weak. Not because they are rude. Not because they stopped feeling, but because they felt too much for too long, and their inner world finally asked for protection. And sometimes silence is not the end of love. Sometimes silence is the beginning of self-trust. Because one day you realize you do not need to hate someone to leave. You do not need perfect proof to honor a pattern. And you do not need to keep explaining your pain to people who keep benefiting from your silence. You only need to listen closely, not just to others, but to yourself.